guys, we're back and we're about to dive into episode 7, where Joe is recording what he literally thinks is his death, and he's also admitting he's the one with the health issues. Again, we don't have anywhere where Ashlee is shown to have health issues. These health issues that miraculously clear up once they've stopped his interrogation and have driven him to the hospital. Did he take any medicine during that time? How was he able to wind down? He also admits to unlocking Ashlee's phone. So if he's unlocking it now, then of course he could have unlocked it before. Doesn't that also put into question all of the questions Ashlee supposedly asked ChatGPT about suicide? Doesn't it make them all allegedly now, since we don't know if it was either her or Joe who has access to the phone? Does this explain how Ashlee is able to text message after she's been found unresponsive and taken to the hospital, which is about an hour and a half away? So she's found at 8:55 p.m. and the drive to the hospital is an hour to an hour and a half away, depending on conditions. How is she text messaging from the ambulance en route to the hospital? You cannot say it's not getting juicy. Okay, let's dive into episode 7. Is this a cry for help or an elaborate setup? Repeatedly updating her mother with status, including her vitals, and even buying her a refundable ticket back home to Philadelphia on JetBlue. I'm not a doctor nor a first responder, but I stayed up all morning to ensure she was okay. She finally awoke and I informed her. I spoke with her mother and bought a refundable ticket to Philly as an option to head home to see her family. Ashlee became livid, claiming I was trying to get rid of her. I explained I was only trying to help her as well as what her mother was requesting, and that she didn't have to go, nor was I getting rid of her. I was simply trying to help. And as Ashlee got more upset, I decided to head to the restaurant by myself to get some coffee, as I was exhausted from being up all night. She went back to ChatGPT for guidance. Okay, so where do we have proof of Joe being asleep? I know that's like a weird question, but if they were partying, because we have like a couple of theories floating around. Was she suicidal? Were they partying and things got out of hand? Or was this allegedly just him flat out murdering her? So if they were partying and she passed out and Joe was still awake, because again, he's been taking the Valium longer, then couldn't he have sent those text messages to her mother? Because he does have the password. So based on this timeline, they're still sharing room 25. He does have access to his phone and or her other electronics. And it's still weird that he feels it's necessary to tell us that Yolanda hadn't texted him since February 18th, 2026. Like, that's very specific. It's so random. But anyway, none of this stuff really makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you. And that's my whole reason for doing this, because again, it's very sus. June 18, 2026, Joe posts via Instagram, "Can you die of a broken heart? I almost did." Literally. After Ashlee died, the legacy media ran with a false narrative, race, wealth, and power, instead of the truth about the mental health issues that afflicted her. Now, what's strikingly missing is his accountability for anything that's affecting his life, his health, his mental well-being, his financial well-being. Like, the audience is just supposed to assume a man who by his own accounts is perfect and has nothing going on in his life, when we know for a fact he does have a lot of very major life changes going on. So a man by his own very accounts, he is suffering from chronic high blood pressure. We don't know. He said it was stage 2, but it was also stage 3, maybe because of the spiking to hypertension, gastroenteritis, and a person who's popping Valium well past the time that he should have been popping it. Like, what is the reason that he's taking Valium? We don't know what it was prescribed for, or even if it was prescribed. That's another thought too. In addition, one cannot take Valium for a very long time because of the damage it does to the body. I'll circle back. Where is Joe's mental health? What is he discussing about himself? Where is his accountability for his actions? So he continues, because of the international coverage, the investigation was handed to the highest police authority in Zanzibar. Even though 2 days after she passed, the local authorities had already apologized to me for my loss because they knew the truth of how Ashlee's life ended. I'm not sure how they would know the truth if what we've been presented doesn't make sense. And so he says, so I had to start all over. I had to relive the trauma of the nightmare of the graphic detail. Statement after statement, interview after interview. They lasted 4 to 5 hours over multiple days because I had to explain words like anxiety, which didn't even exist in Swahili. I voluntarily gave up my DNA, and this is where he says he has access to Ashlee's phone. And before we even go into that, so he had to relive the trauma. A woman is whole dead, but you're talking about trauma. He is literally, Destiny's talking about this woman. Like, she was doing great things, moving upward, and he is on the decline, going down, and potentially, not even potentially, he does have all these health issues, potentially a lot of these mental issues. What is going on? He goes on to say, I had to unlock Ashlee's phone, which meant seeing her background photo of us together. It brought me to my knees, sobbing. At one point during the interview, my body began to shut down. By an act of God, all the power went out. The entire headquarters went dark. Is that an act of God, or is that Ashlee coming in to kick your ass because you lying? Allegedly. All right. So he said, I stepped outside, and the next thing I knew, I woke up on the ground, surrounded by the team. Who is the damn team? Your team? The A team? Who is the team? The police? If a person passes away, people are not just so, oh, we're going to believe you. Like, this is so weird. He's paying for hotel rooms for the medevac doctor, which again, there's like no line. There's like a conflict of interest, to me at least. There's no clear line that differentiates them looking at him and making sure he's not a suspect and ruling him out, because it just seems like they've automatically, oh, he's not a suspect, moving right along, let's take care of him, he's all fallen out, now it's all about him, forget about the poor woman that has passed away, we're not thinking about her, this is the Joe show. This is really what this is. It's a classic textbook definition of narcissism and gaslighting and manipulation. But we're going to just keep going. Okay, so he said he woke up on the ground surrounded by the team. I had passed out from the trauma, grief, and exhaustion. The next day, a doctor came to my hotel. His diagnosis, acute PTSD, stage 2 hypertension, and gastroenteritis. I couldn't sleep more than a couple of hours a night. Then, an hour before my 5th interview, my blood pressure was 183 over 120. Stage 3 hypertension, imminent risk of heart failure, organ failure, stroke. We had to rush to the ER to save my life. The thing about stage 3 is that you feel nothing. No chest pain, no discomfort, but at any second your heart can stop. Now let's talk about that, because stage 3 hypertension is sometimes without symptoms, but sometimes, I should say, it rarely isn't without symptoms. People do feel and go through some behavioral traits of a person that is suffering from stage 1 and stage 2 hypertension. So we're going to finish this car ride and we'll revisit that. So during the car ride, he says, I was convinced I was going to die. My heart was broken and my body was breaking down. Your body was breaking down because you pop in Valium. You're not taking care of yourself. You have hypertension, which is high blood pressure, and you're running around with gastroenteritis, which is caused from popping pills. That's another reason why I don't believe that this was something that he was taking those Valiums for any reason that he had to continue to take them for. I think he was addicted to them and he was popping pills because he has a whole gastro problem because of the pill popping. You get gastroenteritis from digesting bad food, which he never said that he got sick on this trip. So if it's not the bad food, it's chemicals. And the only chemical that we know he's taking is Valium, because he's clearly not taking blood pressure or, blood pressure pills. If he was taking some high blood pressure pills, his blood pressure wouldn't be through the roof. He wouldn't have stage 2 hypertension. So, Anywho, it continues and says, during the car ride, I was convinced I was going to die. My heart was broken and my body was breaking down. Maybe the fact that you got arrested and you were scared shitless might be why you're having this physical response. Allegedly. So he said, I texted my attorney to update my will. Yeah, I bet you did. I checked my life insurance. I prayed my kids would forever be protected. I accepted that I was going to die, but God had other plans. When I reached the hospital, they measured my blood pressure and it was back to normal. There was no scientific explanation for this. This is when I closed my eyes and heard, not yet. I have plans for you. Boy, if you don't go on. Like, are we at the church of Joe now? Are you the Messiah? What the hell? Like, this is weird. So anyway, the next day the doctor came to my hotel. His diagnosis, acute PTSD, stage 2 hypertension, and gastroenteritis. So by his own words and his own account, Joe admits he is the one who actually is diagnosed with mental illness or any physical illnesses and issues. We have no documentation for Ashlee's diagnosis, but for Joe's words and the doctor's words, he does have some things going on. And let's talk about some fun facts. And fun fact, remember when I was telling you earlier about how one may not feel bad with hypertension or high blood pressure, but they do have some telltale behavioral traits. So one of them is persistent anxiety or restlessness. Didn't he say Ashlee had anxiety? Low mood or emotional exhaustion. Irritability or mood swings. So he's saying that she has all these mood swings, but he's the one with stage 2 or 3 hypertension. And stage 2 hypertension says you actually will be irritable and have mood swings. Go figure. But it gets better. Stage 2 hypertension also can manifest as difficulties concentrating or cognitive fog and sleep disturbances. So he's trying to make it seem like he's up all night dealing with Ashlee. He probably was up all night dealing with himself, but he's blaming it on Ashlee, or maybe Ashlee could have been the victim of his manipulation and having to deal with the crazy new Joe. We're in a whole new country. Joe is acting a fool. Like, man, I would love to have been a fly on the wall to have heard that conversation between Ashlee and Yolanda. And I think, I'm willing to bet, there's a lot more being investigated on that because she has those text messages. And here in America, she can request that her attorney subpoena those and do the research and find out. So acute PTSD is a sudden onset, which with the death of Ashlee is very expected and explainable. Okay, so let's talk about this gastroenteritis. So in adults, it's an inflammation of the stomach and the intestines. It's often caused by a viral or bacterial infection. Okay, so he could definitely have had something. He didn't say he was suffering from anything, but he could definitely have had something. Common symptoms include abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite. So treatment is normally hydration and management of the symptoms. As in surprisingly most cases, they resolve on their own. Now, in some instances, this can also occur due to the indigestion of drugs or chemical toxins. Ding, 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 ding. Isn't that Valium coming back to play? And I still don't think a person who's 31 years old all of a sudden automatically resorts to Valium. Valium is, although it's common and still prescribed, but it's not really prescribed to people our age. People our age are going to be prescribed more like Oxy. That's what we have an uptake and issue with. It's oxycodone and Vicodin. It's not Valium. You don't hear people ODing on Valium. You hear people ODing on other things. So, since by Joe's own accounts, he was perfectly mentally fine, it was only Ashlee. Why was he taking Valium? And why doesn't it even sound like, even if it's prescribed, he was still in the window of needing it? And if it was prescribed during a doctor visit, the only one that he shared with us was a reverse vasectomy way back in January. That is a very far window back when he was supposed to be taking it, if that's when it was prescribed. Which lends to the question, were they taking the Valium recreational? Okay, so why would a person might be prescribed Valiums? They work by enhancing the effect of the GABA, a brain's chemical that slows down overactivity in the nervous system. This calming effect helps reduce anxiety, muscle tension, and certain seizure activities. So, a health provider must prescribe Valium for a short term of treatment. That is emphasized. Anxiety disorders. Valium is used for short-term relief of acute anxiety or panic attacks. It helps reduce symptoms like racing thoughts, chest tightness, and dizziness, providing rapid calming effects. But wait a minute, didn't Joe say it was Ashlee with the panic attacks? It's also used to treat muscle spasms, acute anxiety or panic symptoms, especially when symptoms are severe or sudden, such as before a surgery or during a panic attack. Again, didn't Joe have surgery back in January 2026? Doesn't Joe accuse Ashlee of panic attacks? But he's the one with the prescribed medicine. He doesn't say he has a seizure disorder. Doesn't say that he's going through alcohol withdrawal symptoms. Actually, he says he buys a beer down by the beach, so he's not doing any of that. But it is interesting about the sedation before a medical procedure, because Valiums can be habit forming. It's not generally recommended for long-term use for anxiety.